Got a lot of motorsports on the ESPN networks this weekend. Richmond Sprint Cup pre-race edition of NASCAR Now tomorrow morning at 10 Eastern time. Saturday afternoon, ABC 1:30 Eastern, the Eyes on IndyCar Series from Kansas. Then it's the AAA Insurance NHRA Midwest Nationals qualifying tomorrow 9 Eastern ESPN2. The final Sunday night at 7 Eastern. And the NASCAR Nationwide Series moves to Darlington next Friday night at 7 Eastern. Will be a great race. We hope you join us for that. Our first caution of the day has given Mark Green a lap back, the first driver a lap down or more down. So Mark, the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass winner in that 49 car, as we get set to go back to Green. Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski on the front row.
Wow, Kyle looked like he went early there. I don't know whether there's marks. You can't see the marks from here, but got a good start.
And we talked a couple weeks ago about how controversial those restarts are. Kyle got busted in Phoenix, Arizona for jumping a restart. And boy, that looked early right then, or else he just got through the gearbox perfect.
All over here.
And caution is out.
Caution's out. Caution is out.
There is debris off of one of the cars.
My windshield's covered in oil.
There's the debris rolling down the racetrack. It almost looks like a piece of a drive shaft out of a car, Andy.
It could be. We have a car rolling slowly on the pit road now. It looks like Mike Wallace. Could have come out of his car. Yeah, there it is.
There
you can see it. Yep.
Andy, it looks like there's oil all the way at the start-finish line down in the turn one.
We're going to need a gear.
Yeah, look at the oil behind the car right there, guys.
The gears come out of it. The pump's dragging and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's the front of the third member. That's actually the pinion gear and yoke.
Man,
wow, I've never seen one go up like that.
And so all that oil will be the rear gear.
Yeah, and that's all rear end grease, 90-weight gear oil. It'll be all over the racetrack, and that stuff is so slick. See right there, Steve Arpin just about loses it.
Wow.
Probably catches some of that debris. You can see part of the drive shaft coming out.
Well, that was his radio we heard saying my windshield's covered with oil.
Oh, yeah, and it'll be hard to clean.
No wonder.
Yeah. Stuff's thick as molasses.
A little closer look at what we just saw laying on the racetrack in pieces in our Craftsman Tech garage. Tim Brewer?
Alan, from where I'm standing, it looked like it shelled the pinion right here. What happened? When he dropped the hammer on it, the dry shaft came back here in this area right here. That's the weak point in the gear, and he shelled that thing off. That's what sent that dry shaft out of the car.
I'll tell you what, Andy, it looked like those 5 bolts that hold that pinion in got blowed out of the front of that housing also. It looks like we saw it bouncing across the racetrack.
I've never seen a failure like that in all of my years of racing.
That was huge.
I've seen a lot of them.
So caution out and a little bit of cleanup work here to do as Mike Wallace has taken his 01 car back to the garage. And again, Steve Arpin in that 7's got a little work to do to clean up his windshield. Now, Willie Allen, remember the guy who got bumped around and spun to bring out the first caution? He is the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass recipient under this caution. So Willie is going to come around and get back on the lead lap, so good for him. And he could use all the good he can get on this night after a very difficult week, Doc.
It certainly has been difficult. Willie Allen driving with a very heavy heart. Yesterday afternoon, he lost his father, Al Allen, at the age of 55 after about a year-and-a-half battle against Lou Gehrig's disease. It's a very tough. Willie said he was my best friend, he was my mentor, and he wanted me to be here. But Willie was there at the bedside in Centerville, Tennessee. And then when his father passed away peacefully, Willie got in the car with his wife, Kristen, and drove all night to get here to Richmond, arriving 5 minutes before practice began at 9 o'clock this morning. In qualifying, all Willie could do was hold his head down and think about his dad. He started last today and was the biggest mover early on. He said, I'm driving with a heavy heart, but I'm going to drive knowing that my daddy's watching and wanted me to be right here in this race car where he put me years ago.
Doc, thanks. Certainly a lot of people thinking about Willie Allen as he races with a heavy heart here tonight in Richmond. Back on the lead lap as we work caution for the second time. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Richmond. Be sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. We work caution for the second time in the race after Mike Wallace had a mechanical problem that's left a lot of this front stretch and the entry to turn 1 covered in rear end grease that safety officials are trying to mop up. But Rusty, if you're behind the wheel of that 18 car for Kyle Busch, is that going to affect what lane you choose for this restart?
Yeah, absolutely it is. I'm going to go to the top of the racetrack. I mean, that's what I would do if I was Kyle Busch. Now, the guys on the bottom, they got to be careful because their right side tires are going to be in that mess. And I don't care, Alan, how much they clean that track up. It's still going to be a little loose in early going until they get some rubber laid down on top of that and get it cleaned up.
Yeah, we were watching Kyle Busch. Thought that he went early because the restart zone here is really close to turn 4 because the start-finish line is really not in the center of this front straightaway.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that. I mean, this start-finish line is a little bit farther back than most tracks. It's not right in the middle of the front straightaway, and it appeared to us that he really went early, but he didn't. You see it there, the two red lines in the wall and the single line?
Yeah, they're almost in turn 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's way back in there.
Well, Kyle will get another chance to be side by side with Brad Keselowski for a restart in that zone and heading off into where that rear end grease has been put down and cleaned up. And we'll see how it all turns out in just a minute. Major League Baseball continues on ESPN Sunday and Monday. First, Jose Reyes and the Mets face division rival Philadelphia, led by Ryan Howard, on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell at 8 Eastern. Then Torrey Hunter and the Angels take on Uke and the Red Sox on Monday Night Baseball, presented by Sears Lawn and Garden at 7 Eastern. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN3.com Sunday and Monday. Well, we've had a couple of quick cautions here in tonight's race at Richmond. This one a little bit of a lengthy cleanup after that rear end grease was dumped out of the back of Mike Wallace's car down from the start-finish line towards turn 1. Talking about the restart from the first caution and where the zone is. And besides those lines on the outside wall, a little extra reference put on the track for the drivers here at Richmond as well.
Yeah, you see these marks are pretty visible for the driver, but you see that those two lines on the inside are also a reference, but that's a short zone. I mean, you look at that, he has not a lot of discretion. He has to go in that zone.
Remember that, well, I shouldn't say remember, because a lot of folks probably have never heard the fact that, here, well, first let's take a look.
Yeah, he goes exactly in that zone.
Yep.
It looked like it was early to us because he was almost in the turn. We usually see him restarting on the straightaways, but this track, like I said before, this start-finish line is really shifted towards turn 4.
Well, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a lot of controversy out in Phoenix, Arizona, and Kyle Busch was in the middle of that controversy, and I will promise you, he knows exactly where those lines are right now based on what happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you see this, there's your starting line right there, and it's just, you know, you can see it's not in the center of that front straightaway.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed, Andy. You look at the white start-finish line, folks, in a front straightaway, it's usually right in the middle of the front straightaway. Yeah, we usually see it about right here. And it's been this way, Andy, for a long time. We just haven't caught it. I mean, a lot of drivers just don't catch it, but we've got these good aerial views. We see it. And when Kyle Busch took off earlier, you and I both said, man,
I don't think everybody else was ready to go. He was.
He was ready.
All right, officials saying we're 2 laps from the restart here. Let me just mention the length of that restart zone. The rule of thumb that NASCAR officials use to determine it is whatever the speed limit of the track is in miles per hour times 2 in feet. So if the speed limit here is 40 miles an hour, then the restart zone would be 80 feet long.
I didn't know that.
Those 2 lines.
Yeah, that's their formula, but it seems awful short here. It doesn't give the leader much discretion. He has to go in that zone. He can't go before the first one. He has to go by the second one. So
and if he doesn't go by the second one, the single line, the guy on the inside can take off.
And the green flag is coming out. The flagman is instructed to throw the green flag when the leader passes that zone.
And the guy who's not leading that race, he won't get a penalty for that.
Trevor Bayne started in 6th position. He's running back in 11th spot now. Dave?
Trevor Bayne is a rising star in this series, Alan, and as such, he has some rookie stripes there, and this is the way that crew chief Jerry Baxter and Trevor saw the world after they got kind of bumped by Kevin Harvick.
Hey, brother, one of these days, you'll be able to lay the wood to Harvick like that. He was getting all pissy because it was early in the race, but the roles will be reversed one of these days. Be a good time, man.
Heck, he's the one sticking it in there like that, driving in like a maniac, getting into the corner.
Yeah, you know how
Trevor Bayne had a great qualifying run. Hopes to keep it up front there if he can just avoid those veterans.
And talked about the young guys trying to get out there and race with the big ones. Trevor Bayne getting a break and a chance.
Yeah, an interesting choice right here, though. Kyle Busch does choose that inside lane on this restart. I guess he feels like they got it cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah, he's driving a car. He knows what he's doing. It's just from up here. I don't know if I'd do that. I wouldn't drive through it. I'd drive around it.
Well, one thing about it, he's got a better view than anybody.
Yeah, the way he's been restarting, he'll be able to choose his lane.
Yeah, there he goes. He clears them.
Yep.
So now he can do what he wants.
Oh, 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, this could get interesting.
You see him kicking up a little bit of dirt down there.
Yeah,
The track's not totally clean yet.
He got a little bit of grip, though. I mean, he didn't lose a lot. Not as much as I thought he would.
Well, you got that right. Yeah, NASCAR did a good job cleaning the place up because the guys are getting through it pretty good right now.
So Reed Sorensen in that 32 through the 3 wide to second spot. Keselowski back to third. And Allgaier in the 12 who tried the 3 wide. Wasn't able to get any farther than fourth. And now Keselowski back after Sorensen for second.